So a little bit earlier, I spoke about the this time of being the Shukla Paksh of the month of Ashaada. And this month is very auspicious. We have just finished. Many devotees who are bhaktas of the Divine Mother, they are completing a Navratri that is devoted to the Divine Mother in some forms that we might not know of. But we know during the Navratri season that Ma is worshipped as Durga Devi, as Mother Lakshmi, as Mother Saraswati. We also know Ma is worshipped in 9 forms, as Shailaputri Mata, Brahmachari Mata, Chandaganta Mata, etc. However, we may not know that this Navratri, this Gupta Ashaada Navratri, is a tantric Navratri. It is where Ma is worshipped as the 10 Mahavidyas, the 10 Mahavidyas, who are 10 forms of Mahakali. They're known as Mahavidyas, or great knowledge, because it takes a lot of knowledge to understand Ma in these forms. They're not forms that we might not know about, and they're tantric. And looking and thinking of these forms of Ma, we might be very confused as to why she is worshipped as Ma. I won't speak of all of the forms of Ma in this, as these forms, but I'll just touch on a few of them. How many of us have heard of Ma in the form of Ma Tara? Have you ever heard of Ma Tara before? Yes, Tara is a very common name for many women, but Tara Devi is actually a form of the Divine Mother who she came in order to nourish Bhagwan Shiva. Because Bhagwan Shiva, he appeared in Mount Kailash, and he appeared as a child who was crying, and a very thunderous cry he was making, and the Bhagwan Shiva, they described him as Rudra, as terrible, because it was a very powerful cry. And Bhagwan was doing this because he wanted to introduce everyone to this form of Ma as Tara Devi. And Tara Devi, she has a very large chest, and what she did was she allowed Bhagwan Shiva to suckle from her breast and to receive nourishment. And what this goes to show is, we might think, why is it that Bhagwan needs this nourishment? And it goes to show that without the power of the Divine Mother, Bhagwan Shiva, he is helpless, he is powerless. Right? So that is one of the Mahavidyas. Another form of Ma is known as Dumavati Mata. Dumavati Mata is actually a widow. And what she goes to teach us is that any woman who becomes a widow, they are still worthy of worship, they are still allowed to perform puja. Ma took this form to teach us that we should respect all women, all forms of women. So Dumavati Mata, she took this form in order to teach us that. Another form of Ma is Ma Tripura Sundari, or Lalita Tripura Sundari. She is the form of Ma who came to destroy Asura, known as Bandasur. And Bandasur is very powerful, and he thought that he could not be destroyed by a child. And the Divine Mother took the form as Tripurasundari Devi in order to destroy this Bandasur, because he had a boon that he can only be destroyed by a child. So Ma took the form of this child, and she destroyed Bandasur. So these forms of the Divine Mother, they are forms of Mother Sati. There's 10 of them. In the Durga Chalisa, we chant their names. They're included in the Durga Chalisa. And we ask Ma in these very powerful forms, may she bless us and may she always protect us. So this Navami Tithi is very auspicious because it is the end of this Navratri. And after which, in the next day or so, we will have Sudarshan Jayanti. The Sudarshan refers to the Sudarshan Chakra, the spinning discus of Bhagwan Vishnu. The weapon that Bhagwan has, it was given to Bhagwan Vishnu by Bhagwan Shiva after performing great tapasya. Bhagwan Shiva blessed Bhagwan Vishnu with this great weapon, and the weapon itself is worshipped as a form of Bhagwan Vishnu. So you might see some Vaishnavite traditions, they worship Bhagwan in this powerful form of the Sudarshan Chakra. Afterwards, we will have Devshayani Ekadasi. So this Ekadasi is very auspicious because it is the beginning of the Chaturmasa. So many of us have heard about Chaturmasa before. Chaturmasa is 4 auspicious months, and it begins with Shravan Mas, which will begin after the Purnima next week, which is Guru Purnima. Next Saturday is Guru Purnima, where we worship Bhagwan Shiva. Afterwards, we'll have the Bhadrapada Mas, and we'll have 2 more months afterwards. And it is said that on this Ekadasi, Bhagwan Vishnu, he will go to sleep in Vaikuntha, and Bhagwan Shiva will take over control of the universe. We might hear that and we might get confused. We might think, why is it that Bhagwan Vishnu is going to sleep and leaving all of his devotees? So Bhagwan is doing this. He's not actually sleeping, but Bhagwan is actually demonstrating the change in the seasons. In India, during these next 4 months, it begins the monsoon season. The same way we have hurricane season here in South Florida, where we're told to prepare for hurricanes, and there's lots of storms, and the weather gets very bad, the wind gets very bad, and we're told to take precautions. In India, in Bharat, they are told that this monsoon season that they have to also prepare and keep themselves safe. So many devotees, they perform great tapasya and great devotion during this time. And during these 4 months, we have many great observances, many great pujas, many great worships are done. Bhagwan is not sleeping, Bhagwan is in meditation. And in addition, the kata that I want to get to today, that you might have heard of, is Bhagwan is actually keeping guard of a very great devotee of his. In the Bhagwat Mahapuran, we all know Bhagwan, he took his avatars, he came, and during the age of Satyug, towards the end, we had a yajna that was taking place by a very great king who was known as King Mahabali. And Mahabali was the grandson of Prahalad. And this great king, he performed a great yajna. He invited all the Devis and Devatas. And his devotion was so great that he wanted to become king of the heavens. He wanted to overtake Indra as the king of the heavens. So Bhagwan had to come up with a strategy because the Devatas were concerned that if this Asura takes control of Swarga, it will lead to havoc. So Bhagwan devised a strategy where he will go in the form of a Brahmana to the Yagishala as a dwarf. And we all know that dwarf as Vamana Avatar. So Bhagwan goes as Vamana Avatar to the Yagishala of King Mahabali. And Shukracharya, who is one of the Navgraha, Shukracharya, if we don't know, he is the Navgraha who is responsible for Venus. And he is also the guru of the Asuras. And Shukracharya ji, he tells the King Mahabali, as his guru, he tells King Mahabali, he says, take heed that Bhagwan is coming. And the king, he sees Vamana Avatar appear before him, and as a very righteous king and a generous king, when a Brahmana visits you, you should give them something as a sign of respect, because Brahmanas, they perform great tapasya and prayers for you. For example, there are very many great souls who are not performing tapasya, and they're performing great penance in caves and in the wilderness for the welfare of the entire universe. They're the reason why rain comes. So, Bhagwan takes the form of Brahmana as Vaman Avatar. He meets King Mahabali, and he asks the king for 3 plots of land, and King Mahabali agrees. And he thinks that because Vaman Avatar is very small, he can only take up a small amount of space. So the king grants this wish, and we know that Bhagwan, he takes a very large form as Trivikrama, very large form, and what he does is he takes one of his feet and he touches it at heaven. He takes one feet and he touches it at the earth, and then what he does for the 3rd share of land, King Mahabali says, please Bhagwan, please, I want you to put your feet on me. And Bhagwan agrees, and Bhagwan gives him that darshan, that blessing, and Bhagwan sends him to the lower regions, to Patal Loka. He wants him to become the king of the lower lokas, to control all of the lower beings who are there. So, Bhagwan does this, and he blesses King Mahabali. Now, the king, Mahabali, he also asks Bhagwan if Bhagwan can protect him during this time. So Bhagwan Vishnu, as Bhagwan, we know Bhagwan means that which brings happiness, brings bhaga. So Bhagwan agrees, and he goes to guard the door of Pataloka, where King Mahabali is. And he leaves Vaikuntha and goes down to Pataloka. So this occurs during the beginning of the Chaturmasa, where Bhagwan goes, and on the Shravan Purnima, not this next Purnima, this full moon next week, but the following full moon will be Shravan Purnima, that's Raksha Bandhan. One of the reasons why we tie the Raksha on each other is because Mother Lakshmi, she got very concerned that Bhagwan Vishnu was in Patalok and wasn't in Vaikuntha. And she wanted Bhagwan Vishnu to return, but Bhagwan Vishnu, being the Bhagwan that he is, he doesn't want to leave his devotee. So Mother Lakshmi, she ties a Raksha, she ties a thread on King Mahabali and blesses him that wherever he has a thread, Bhagwan Vishnu will protect him with the thread. That's why we chant the prayer, Yena Badu Bali Raja Dhanamendra Mahabala. That's where that mantra that we chant comes from, for protection. So during this time, it's a very auspicious time for us to perform tapasya and devotion, just like Bhagwan Vishnu. Bhagwan is never asleep. Don't ever think that Bhagwan is sleeping and he's not going to bless us, he's not going to protect us, etc. Bhagwan is limitless, and Bhagwan, he does these things to model proper behavior and to model devotion that he has for us and how we should have devotion for him. Prem Subalo, Vrindavan, Bihar Lal Ki Jai.